Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining today. We're going to be discussing IRONSCALES, which is an email security solution for MSPs. We'll be diving into different topics about the product, but also about actually integrating the solution into your business. So with that, just like to give a quick introduction of who the presenters are. So it'll be myself. So my name is Casper. I'm a product manager here at Sherweb. I cover our continuity backup and security products. I'm joined today by Christopher, the director of sales at IRONSCALES for MSPs and MSSPs as well. So we'll be co-hosting this together, going through a variety of topics, and we'll be able to answer any questions that you may have. And with that, I just kind of wanted to quickly get over some housekeeping rules. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat. We have people standing by ready to answer those, whether it's about Sherweb or about IRONSCALES. So we'll go through kind of some of the criteria of choosing an email security solution. We'll get into IRONSCALES at that point, and then IRONSCALES at Sherweb, what makes it the partnership special between us, and then how to get started. And if there's any other remaining questions that are lingering, we'll do our best to answer those at the very end. So with that, cybersecurity and email. It's two things that go hand in hand. As we know, it's a very prominent topic right now for our MSPs. How do they choose the right solution? What do they need to look for? Why is it a threat? I think many of us have a foundational understanding, but not many of us understand the details of it. So with that, email security and why it matters. So why is this important in the first place? And we've done a variety of research. We've also done research with third parties as well. And we all know that cyber attacks, oftentimes they start with email, right? In various ways, as you'll see here, more than 90% start that way. So it's very important to protect that critical gateway in your company. Phishing websites, they're coming up every single month, and that number is growing. As you see here, there's about 1 million that are created per month. Oftentimes these are quite rudimentary, but as the technology accelerates, they become more and more sophisticated in nature. There's also a huge cost that's attached to this. And oftentimes we overlook the number with the fact that this can decimate a business overnight. And there's no real number actually attached to that once your business goes under because of a data breach. So it's important to protect your business, most importantly, your end customers have that expectation for you to protect not only their business, but yourselves as well. So this kind of leads into the fact that this needs to be a foundational offering. It's not really optional anymore. It's expected from all of your customers, and they understand that it's quite sophisticated, and they need that assistance from you, the MSP, to lead them through what it is, why they need it, and how it's actually going to protect them. So with this conversation that I'm having with Chris, hopefully we'll address some of those prevailing trends, and I believe we will. But like I said, if you have any additional questions, anything that isn't covered, just please feel free to put it in the chat. So how do you choose an email security solution? Oftentimes, you're bombarded with multiple offers in the market. Lots of different companies either offering it as an add-on, or companies like IRONSCALES, which focus on email security solely. So when you're looking at performance, is the actual technology trained or untrained? And what I mean by that is the technology adapting to the evolving threats, or is it a somewhat stagnant solution? So it's important to understand both. Is it inline or API based? This helps you as a business to integrate it into your existing stack. And then the speed, right? How quickly can you react to the threat? And that isn't just the technology itself, that's you as an MSP having the right triggers in place and having the right processes in place, that if you do experience any sort of attack or threat, can you respond accordingly, not just for your business, but according to your customer expectations as well. There's operational overhead, right? Deployment time, how quickly can you migrate to the solution? Ease of use and training. So I think that's a big one that Chris is going to touch on as well, is how well can you train your staff on the solution? Oftentimes we see certain solutions might be preached as simple, but then don't have the adequate training for the staff at the MSP to be able to utilize it correctly. And that leads into management, managing the solution as you scale your business. So as you bring on new customers, which have new users, are you able to scale the solution effectively, or is it a little bit cumbersome? And then the ease of testing. A solution is just a solution on paper and isn't practical unless you've tested it. And that's, a key aspect for any MSP and any solution actually that you use is how often are you actually testing that it works? Because as we all know in the real world, other variables tend to come up, and you need to be prepared for that. So with that, we're introducing IRONSCALES into the Sherweb portfolio. Very excited to bring them on. A lot of companies have asked us when we're going to have this solution offering, and we have it. And I'm super excited to now introduce Chris, which is going to actually talk about the product, the needs that it meets. And like I said, if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to put them in the chat and we'll address them as required. So with that, Chris, if you'd like to take over.
Yeah, awesome. Appreciate it, Casper. And you mentioned a few really key things. And I've been working with MSPs the better part of a decade. And really what I've learned is, time is the enemy of all managed service contracts. And really what we're looking to do and what I'm always looking to do for our partners is find out new ways to help them generate revenue, reduce risk, and gain operational efficiency. And so with that being said, a little bit about IRONSCALES. So we are a leader in email security, offering an integrated AI-driven solution. We're API-based, and we do more than just typical spam, more than typical email security. We're looking at advanced phishing protection. We're looking into ATOs, or account takeovers. We're looking at BEC attacks. We're looking at social engineered attacks. All of these new age attacks that are getting through traditional models. We have DMARC protection now in place, which will be live in Sherweb in the second week of June. And then we also have an integrated security and awareness training and phishing simulation platform. So it's not a bolt-on, it's integrated, it's part of our solution, because as we all know, email security, the biggest culprits are usually end users, right? And so we need to educate end users on what to look out for these days. We service over 2,500 MSPs globally. We partner with 15,000 plus customers. We secure and support millions and millions of mailboxes throughout our ecosystem. We help partners meet multiple compliance and regulations, cyber insurance initiatives, things of that nature. We can help check boxes. And then we are easy to sell through. As Casper mentioned, one of those key components about selecting any vendor, not just email security, is how easy are they to work with? Can their solution help us sell, right? Does it give us the information that we need to position the product? How much management time is this going to take up on my team's behalf, right? And so these are all questions that come up, and these are all things that IRONSCALES will help solve for. So Casper, to continue on with those key challenges facing different security teams within MSPs today, and you're looking at, sorry, go ahead, Casper. So you're looking at just different advanced attacks, the defense gaps, and these advanced attacks that we see out there, you know it better than me. A lot of times they don't have malicious, content. There's not URLs, there's not attachments, but they're BEC attacks, they're requests. It's an impersonation attempt. It's, Casper sent me an email, but instead of the O in his name, it's a 0. Right? And then someone's asking me to change our banking information or, route them money for a payment. Things of that nature. This is what we're seeing out there today, where businesses are truly being compromised. And so the mailbox level detection is really where ecosystems need to move to in order to catch these advanced attacks that we're seeing today. Because when you're looking at that gateway level where they're only looking at malicious content, a lot of the attacks that we see, they don't fall into that mold anymore. And so when you're looking into fragmented security ecosystems and operational strain, that's what I'm going to talk a lot about today, is the different processes that impact your organization's ability to run as efficiently as possible, because you are getting so many alerts, because you're having to create so many rules and so many policies. You really don't have the visibility into the incidents that are being escalated to you. So we're going to discuss all of these things today, because what it comes down to is legacy solutions, they are missing things. So Casper, next slide, please. And what we've been able to do here at IRONSCALES is actually pull the data. And so we are an API-based solution, as I mentioned before, so we play well in the sandbox with other solutions. This does make us very easy to layer behind and to collect the type of data that I'm going to explain we collected over on our end here recently. And so what we're showing is that on gateways where we, on emails or on environments where we sit behind a gateway, such as, you know, a Proofpoint or a Mimecast, we are identifying how many attacks on average are getting through that we are identifying after it gets through the seg. And on average, that is about 67 to 68 phishing attacks per 100 inboxes every single month. And the majority of these attacks, as we've kind of been discussing so far, they're not traditional attacks. It's employee persuasion, it's social engineering, it's emerging threats like extortion, vishing, QR code attacks. And so this is why, if you, next slide, Casper. And so this is why organizations are really having to make the decision on, do we stick with our gateway or do we move over to an ICAS? And an ICAS is an integrated email, or sorry, an integrated cloud email security platform. It's a mouthful, so I will say ICAS, because ICAS solutions, they have the ability to identify more than just malicious content. For instance, we utilize an adaptive AI. Her name is Themis. She is looking for everything that's contextually wrong with an email. So suspicious language, image-based attacks. We have optical character recognition, so we can extract that text from the image and run it against our scanners like we would everything else. Headers, hashes, once again, impersonation attempt, vendor spoofing. We have the ability to look past malicious content and look at malicious intent. And that is why a lot of partners, a lot of organizations these days are moving away from the SEG by either augmenting it with an ICAS or moving over to an ICAS completely. And so this is where we ask ourselves, what if email security could be different? And it can be. And this is the biggest problem, other than, you know, obviously the risk and the type of attacks that are getting through. It's remediating incidents, it's time consuming, and it's expensive. And so I don't know if I have any techs on the call, anybody who helps with the ops or support, but I'm assuming that today, when a user escalates an email, they're sending it to support at, to help desk at, and it's creating a ticket on your end. If that's the case, then number one, they're sending you a malicious email. That's not good. And then number two, when your team picks it up, they have to run through a threat analysis. And that threat analysis takes time. They're looking at, is there suspicious language? They're looking at, did this come from Casper? It looks like it came from Casper, but did it actually come from Casper? Did this come from Sherweb? Is it someone impersonating them? If there's links and attachments, they're sandboxing them, right? They're running an IP analysis. They're looking at how old this domain is. They're looking at the return path. All of this stuff takes 25 to 30 minutes. And the biggest problem I have is not only with the time here, it's with the threat containment. Because all of you know as well as I do that the majority of the time, these malicious actors, they're not going after one person in the organization. They're going after multiple people, if not everybody. Correct? I'm going to assume that you're nodding your head with me. And so that means that while this threat analysis is taking place, the only user that you can maybe assume is safe is the user that escalated it. But every other user in that organization is still at risk for 25 to 30 minutes until you or your team go in and run a script or remediate that email manually from every other user's environment that received it after you run a report in Microsoft to find out wherever it went. And so from that point forward, then you're putting a response strategy in place. It's a rule, it's a policy, it's a block list, it's an allow list. And I probably don't have to tell you this, but an allow list is the most dangerous thing that you can do in this day and age, because credential theft harvesting and account takeovers are the preferred attack vector of a malicious actor, because they know historically businesses have been set up on traditional gateways where allow listing was how you allowed mail to come through, right? By an IP, by a domain, by a specific user. But with credential theft harvesting and account takeovers being so predominant, what that means is if a malicious actor took over an account and they found an organization that's set up like that, which historically all businesses have been, because ICAS solutions like IRONSCALES are fairly new, that they're probably going to find an association, a business that they're on an allowed sender list for, a trusted sender list, which means they can send any malicious email unscrutinized because they're on that allow list. It's the most dangerous thing that you can do in this day and age in email security is put someone on an allow list. And so then you're having end user communications. All of this, it's a lot, right? It takes a lot to explain. I know it's a lot for your teams to handle. So Casper, next slide. So we believe we found, not the full answer, but a part of the answer, and that is AI plus human insights. And so one of the biggest things that we see out there, and you can go to the next slide, Casper, is AI is exploding, right? AI is everywhere. And a lot of the times it takes AI to combat AI. If you're looking at how models have been set up historically in order to understand how IRONSCALES does what we do and why we're so powerful, it's understanding the model, right? The secure email gateway model, you're looking for basic malware, spam. These are links and attachments. IRONSCALES can take care of this. We work with over 100 different scanners that are out there to identify any IOCs. When it comes to newer solutions, you're seeing an AI component be added to them now, since over the last few years, since AI has boomed. One of the key things to note about IRONSCALES is we've been doing this for a decade. Themis has been around for 10 years, right? This isn't new to us. Our AI has been here doing the work, collecting the data, and building this strength over the past decade while everyone else is just getting into it. And a lot of the time, these AIs are pretty static. And so they're better at catching some of the advanced malware, bulk phishing, spear phishing, DEC, and VEC attacks. But when you start to get into the unknown threats, those zero-day attacks, this is where IRONSCALES is really the tip of the spear. And it's because of the adaptive AI. There's really three components to it. Number one, it is our ability to identify credential theft harvesting pages. So we can notice pixels being out of place, coloration is off, forgot passwords a millimeter to the left, you name it. And we will remediate it and not allow any users to go to it. Number two is what I've been mentioning the whole time, our ability to look for malicious intent, not just malicious content. Everything that's contextually wrong with email, suspicious language, impersonation attempts, all the things that I've gone through. And then the third component, which is something that nobody else out there has, is human insights. It's the integration of our crowdsourced threat intelligence community. You can scroll down, Casper, or next slide. And so we're the only email security company out there that's integrating human insights, because we all know in this world of AI versus AI that sometimes it's going to win, sometimes it's going to lose. And so it's so important for organizations to still keep that human in a loop. And so as I mentioned earlier, we have millions of mailboxes that we support and secure on a daily basis around the world. And every one of those inboxes has the ability, every user has the ability with the click of a button to report an email securely and safely, not through an email, not to your help desk, through a secure portal in IRONSCALES where you can catch it. And so what would happen whenever a user reports an email, say that it's a 0-day or an unknown attack because something got through, right? I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we're going to stop everything. I'm not going to sit here and because you know I was full of it. But what I will sit here and tell you is that the work and the automation that's in place on the back end to streamline the processes that you have in place today will make your lives much easier. And so when you click that report phishing button as an end user, it will come up to us and we will rescan it. The second that we've identified it as phishing, we will reach out into the rest of our community and we will look for a similar footprint. We will look for similar links, attachments, and IP analysis, anything that could lead us to believe that this is the same incident, the same attacker, and that way we can remediate it pretty much in real time. And so while everybody else is looking at what happened yesterday, what happened the week before, we're looking at that, but we're also looking at what's going on right now. And it's all because of the integration of human insights into the AI. Casper, next slide. And so that slide I showed you before, where we went through the processes of what your team faces today, with IRONSCALES, the majority of the time, it's going to be automatic. So we will do the inspection. We will run the threat analysis that we will show you all of the details for if you want visibility into it, or say that it's an unclassified incident that needs your attention. And if it does, you will be able to handle it in a minute or less, because the threat analysis, as we mentioned, all of those things that you would normally have to go dig up manually, sandbox the links and attachments, identify if it's an impersonation attempt, look at SPF, look at DMARC, do all of those things, we do for you, and then we put all of the details on one single pane of glass. And then we remediate it from every single user's account that received it simultaneously. And so while that threat analysis is taking place, while it's being quarantined, no other user has the ability to engage with it like you would in traditional models. We are protecting everyone in the organization at the same time. And then one of the other best things about us is the response strategy. And so through the classification of an incident, whether it's safe, phishing, or spam, which are really the three options in our ecosystem, Themis, the AI, she learns that behavior. And so she only gets stronger and smarter over time. And so that need to create policies, to create rules, to put customers or IPs and users or domains on an allow list, all of that, it goes out the window. Go ahead, Casper. And the last thing that I'll focus on here is we've talked a lot about how IRONSCALES separates itself from a security standpoint, from looking at malicious intent, the AI plus HI. Well, we've talked a lot about, we've talked a lot about how we're going to save your team time on the back end and just from a managerial perspective as well. But one thing I really like to focus on is how we can help our partners generate revenue. And so Casper is going to touch on this here in a moment, but there are complimentary NFRs available for all of our partners through the Sherweb marketplace. And so all you would need to do is go check that out. There's no quotas, there's no minimums, there's no long-term agreements with IRONSCALES. There's no boundaries to entry, right? And so with us, what you can do is for Microsoft customers, is we run what's called a free email health check. So we can be set up in 3 minutes. Remember, we tap right into Microsoft's Graph API. The same for Google. We work with Google as well. And the second that you hook us up, there's free trials for every single customer. And they can be spun up in what's called silent mode. And in silent mode, we are a ghost in their ecosystem, which means we won't take any remediation action. We won't, they won't know we're there. But what we will do is we will go back 90 days and we will scan every single piece of mail that's come through that environment. And we will tell you what we found, what we would have caught that the existing solution missed. And not only will we show you this report, we will give you the details of every single incident, the SPF, the DMARC, was it an impersonation attempt? Were there malicious links and attachments? How many people did this impact in the organization? We will give you all of the details that you need to understand why IRONSCALES should be put in place, and then also to just help leverage from a sales perspective. This is not only huge for your existing customers, but we see a lot of partners go out there and they use this as a sales tool to build top of funnel. They say they create a canned email template to go out to their prospects, and it says, hey, we're a service provider in your area, right? We care about this economy. We're from here, and we've seen a lot of advanced attacks getting through from the email perspective. And so we partnered with an organization, or you don't even have to say that, but we want to run a free email health check. Don't worry, there won't be any remediation, no downtime. It'll take us 5 minutes to get you set up. If you're interested, let us know. We're here to help. And that's your foot in the door with a new customer, and it's free. It takes 5 minutes to set up, and then you let IRONSCALES go to work for you and give you the information that you need to start winning that business.
Awesome.
That's about all I got for you today, I believe. But if there's any questions, please shoot them in the chat. I'm always available here for Sherweb and you MSP partners that are the lifeblood of what we do. So we appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Chris. So now IRONSCALES at Sherweb. So we've, waited for this partnership for quite some time, and now that it's here, we're very excited to announce it. And obviously, Chris went through a wealth of information on the product itself. And we're bringing what we're known for at Sherweb to the entire process, right? And that comes with high quality onboarding and support from the Sherweb team, but also the IRONSCALES team, which we work collaboratively with in onboarding our customers. So that's answering any questions, getting the environment set up. All of that is done in tandem together. From a pricing perspective, discounts and rebates are available. We're making the pricing as competitive as can be to make sure that it suits your budgets so that you can get going with IRONSCALES into your ecosystem. And then automated provisioning and synchronization. Most customers who are already with Sherweb might be familiar with our Cumulus platform. If you're not, super simple to use. Everything goes on one bill from every vendor. And we're bringing this to the solution as well. So the provisioning is what you'd be used to at Sherweb, and we've made sure that we've streamlined that as much as humanly possible. So how to get started? Chris mentioned there is a complimentary NFR that's available for customers and also trials. And there's the 90-day scan back that Chris was alluding to as well. That's quite unique to IRONSCALES. We really encourage our customers to try it out. We believe that they're going to see tremendous value from it. Our team is here to help to assist along that process as well. The new activation process that our customers are familiar with, it's a vendor management feature. If you haven't seen it, when you log into Cumulus, you'll see that it's a tab that's on the left side where you can spin up the services accordingly, and IRONSCALES is there as well. We've also included a quick video demo in this deck, which will be sent to you, and that has a complete walkthrough. And the team is here to help. We've all been trained on it from our account managers, also to our support team. So we're ready to go. We're ready to help our customers onboard this new technology and answer any questions as needed and help you build a successful business around IRONSCALES and with your customers. So with that, if there's any other questions and whatnot, we'd be happy to answer that. If anything comes up post discussion here, feel free to email myself or Chris, and we'll triage that accordingly.
Yeah, I saw a question in the chat about hosted exchange. So we do not work on server. It's specific to cloud, GWS, and Microsoft.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any more though.
Yeah, if there's no more questions, then with that, thank you for your time, for joining us, and we look forward to working with everybody on the call, but everybody who also watches the recording, feel free to reach out to us, and we'd love to start you on your journey. And Chris, again, thank you for your time going through the product, going through what it addresses. It's tremendously appreciated. So
yeah, of course. Yeah, thank you all. And one last thing, we're here to support Sherweb through and through. So as you onboard, as you begin this journey with IRONSCALES, you will be well taken care of from all aspects, from the distribution side of the house with Sherweb, from the vendor side of the house with the IRONSCALES. We will be a part of your onboarding, a part of your journey from the beginning. And so, but you can bet you're going to get very well taken care of. So thank you once again.
Agreed. Yeah.